Hi, my rats, and welcome back to Ratitude Check. Are you ready for a Ratitude Check? Because I am, and I've got Sarah here, who I don't think you're a rat. Do you know what, like, a rat is rat lore?
No.
Okay, so, like, a rat, like, so I was, like, a rat bride. Like, it was, like, very hard for me to be a bride. I didn't like the attention. The beauty standard was, like, really crashing down on me. I had a lot of anxiety. I was, like, a nervous, ratty little bride that, like, should have eloped. So that's how I kind of came up with the term. And then I just realized, like, in general in life, I'm a rat. Like, I'd rather, like, be in the sewer, in the shadows. Like,
I get it.
You know what I mean? But I feel like you're someone who really embraces, like, socialness. Like, rats are pretty antisocial, and I don't get that vibe from you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like, even yesterday, I was like, I should go socialize. I should talk to everyone here.
Yeah. You're amazing for that. Like, I remember, okay, my first memory of you, we went on a trip together,
my God.
actually, right? Like,
Yeah.
to La Roche-Posay in Banff. And after the meeting, Sarah just comes up and she's like, do you want to go outside and take pictures? I don't have a picture of my outfit yet. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want to go do. And I just loved that someone came up to me because I was feeling really nervous about, like, a sleepaway, like, influencer trip. Like, you just don't know if you're going to,
Was it your first one?
It was my second, I think. Yeah.
Was it I don't even remember if it was my first one.
It was I had gone to one other, but anyways, I was like nervous and yeah, you're super social, you're super confident. I was saying to you last week, like we got lunch last week and I'm like, I think she needs to do a series on this because she'll literally go to like different cities and be like, who wants to meet me? Like I will, like, let's go. You went to a comedy show?
Wait,
like,
you make it sound like I'm like hosting meet and greets.
No, true.
I'm not like,
who deigns to meet me?
everyone come hang out with me. No, I'm just like, I just post on my like close friends stories and I'll be like, who wants to hang tonight? Yeah. And I think that people think it's like impersonal and then like they don't reply, but I'm like, no, but who's legitimately down to do something tonight?
Yes. Okay, this is the thing, and I think we have some write-ins about this, but like today's day and age, people aren't making new friends. People aren't like coming out of their shells to maybe like take someone up on a genuine offer to like hang out. That's why I really like it. Like it's so refreshing. It's really cool to now have a friend because it's just like you know, you're asking and it's like all you have to do is say yes. Yeah. So sometimes I think like the whole friendship thing, which we'll probably get into, is like it's two-sided. You also have to take the opportunities. Right?
Yeah.
To go, and you're creating them. There are people out there still like creating really amazing opportunities to make friends.
Which I'm like thinking now maybe people aren't answering because they're like, oh, she's not talking about me.
Right.
Like it'll be awkward if I answer and she doesn't want to hang.
Right.
Right?
Totally. No, because that's how sometimes I'll feel. Like I'll literally like be like, I don't know if she wants to see me, but like I'm around. Like I'm here. I just think it's a really cool thing that you do. Like you create space to create friendships, and I don't think people are doing that anymore. I'm certainly not like putting myself out there.
I think that's so interesting because I think I had a hard time making new friendships in the past few years.
Right.
But I'm such a social person, which is weird. It comes with the trauma.
Got you. We can get into that if you
we could.
Do you want to give us some background story about like basically like
about my trauma?
No, we don't just start in trauma, but like you can totally go there. Like I have definitely trauma dumped on the rats, so like you can totally do that.
Who's up for a trauma dump today? What day is it? Thursday. Yeah. Trauma dump Thursday.
Yeah. Dump the troms Thursday. But yeah, and then you can maybe get into how you became an influencer as well.
Oh my God.
Because your content kind of slaps hard. Like you are like influencer who
it's
like,
gone through a few rounds.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I will never lie about this.
Okay.
The reason that I started is because some girl from my high school got a Triangle swimwear for free. Do you remember Triangle swimwear?
Yes, I do.
They were the shit back then.
Yes.
And I was like, I can do that.
I love this.
I want a free swimsuit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I guess I gotta have as many followers as her. Which was probably like 900.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
Like when it first started, it was...
Yeah. And when I started, I was also thinner. I wasn't like thin, but I was thinner.
Okay.
And I never had the concept in my head of like, oh, like I exist in a bigger body or I won't have the same chance because of that.
Wow.
I was just like, I can do that.
I love that.
I was so invincible back then.
I really freaking... Can we deep dive into that? How do
Yeah.
you think you became invincible? Because, like, I think it's... Like, we're the same age, I think. Like, we're 94s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, unless you don't want to share like that. I know some people
I'm 22.
don't. Yeah. But basically, like, we came up during some of the most toxic body trends, like, there have been, right? Like, the 90s heroin chic to the 2000s, like, Paris Hilton's spray tans to then thigh gap to then the big butt, like everyone has to have a huge ass, like we've been through lots.
We've seen
so
it all.
how did you like survive that so well?
I have no idea. I think that back then I was so focused on like my performance in school.
Oh.
Like when I was growing up, it was like the one thing I could control.
I love that.
Right? School was like my control. My life, my brain was chaos.
Right.
And it was like everything was like I could do school and I could do school really well.
Okay.
And I genuinely felt at the time like anything that I wanted, I could get. Like I was like, if I wanted to be a part of a committee or if I wanted to have a really good grade or just like get a job, like I was always like, I can do it. Why not?
Cool.
And I always kind of, and I still feel this way today, that no one is more special than anyone else.
I love that.
And I'm not more special than anyone
Love
else.
that.
So if like this person can do it, why not me?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're all just like, now obviously it comes with like, you know, different levels of privilege.
Of course.
And accessibility and stuff. But I truly don't believe that anyone is more special than anyone else.
Yeah.
So I think back then it was just about that.
I love that.
You know?
Yeah, that's really cool. So it just came from like, if I'm inferring, and you can shut me down if not, maybe home wasn't as a controlled space for you.
Exactly.
So when you left the home, you were like, I am going to control these environments.
Yeah.
Cool. And that gave you just this kind of ability to really kind of slay, I guess, like outside of the home. Like,
I think it was like holding on to the things that I was really good at.
yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yes.
Because I always said in my mind, I was like, I've cracked every case except how to get a boyfriend. I could have gotten anything I ever wanted, but I've never managed to get that one.
Boyfriend.
It was always a mystery to me. Yeah, and then when I started getting followers, I kind of did it as like a challenge.
Cool.
I was like, I'm gonna get more followers than this person, and I was in business school, and I saw it really as like a marketing challenge, and I was like, if I'm selling a product, how are people gonna know my product exists unless I put it in their face?
Yeah.
And I was like, how old am I? Like 21, I guess. And I would drive my sister everywhere.
Okay.
And I would make my sister go and like hundreds of posts from my account while I was driving.
Okay.
Like we would go on the recent hashtags.
Okay.
And whether it was like hashtag smile, hashtag happy,
Right.
hashtag, you know, back in the day when hashtags were like popping.
Yeah.
And I would be like, just like the 20 most recent ones that are like, that means that people are like on their phone.
Yeah.
Right? Because if it was posted like 15 seconds ago, a minute ago, people are probably still on it.
Yeah.
And my goal was just to get like my username popping up on people's feeds and have it be enough for them to come see my page and maybe be interested in it.
So car time was like Sarah's little workshop. Like, I'm going to drive you places, but you're going to work for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
In true big sis.
I was just going to say, like, I can hear my little sister right now listening to this going,
In true big sis. If your little sister wasn't free labor, you were doing something wrong.
Nothing wrong. Actually, that's a great segue into today's topic that I haven't said is we're doing big sister chats today because actually when Sarah and I hang out, I think like the first time it was like at an event and we got dinner afterwards, like we'd ran into each other, but Sarah did her magical thing and she was like, well, do you want to grab dinner after this? And I was like, yes, I do. Like, that is amazing. I wish I was brave enough to like come up with these things on my
someone
own.
to dinner.
Yes, literally. But as we know, I'm a rat. But rats.
She came to dinner.
I came to dinner.
She came out
we
of
had
her
a great
sewage.
time. Yes, exactly. I climbed my way out of the sewer. We had a great dinner, but what I really loved was our chats because we were honestly, you know, like those dinners where you solve all the world's problems. We're talking about men a lot. We're talking about being Libras, being powerful women in our relationships. Like we were just, I was like, I love this girl a lot, and that's why I thought big sister chats would be so perfect for us because you're so strong.
Oh,
and
thank
is that
you.
the Libra in us? Are Libras?
I don't know.
Awesome? Like
I feel like someone asked me yesterday, what's your sign?
Right.
And I was like, you're never going to guess. Because people never guess.
Right.
Do you find that?
Yes. No one ever guesses a Libra.
Yeah, no one ever guesses Libra.
No.
The most often guess that I get is a Virgo.
Wow.
And
I can see that.
I think it's because of like my take charge attitude.
I think it's like that and like how aesthetic and organized you are.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Makes sense. Like they're kind of A-type. I think is the vibe.
Yes, exactly.
So,
I think the type A is what people...
what they're reading.
Exactly. And yesterday the girl, no clue. She couldn't guess. She thought I was a Scorpio.
Oh.
Which I don't even know what they all mean.
I think Scorpio's kind of like dark and stormy, sexy vibes, mysterious. Like,
was I giving off mysterious yesterday?
Maybe. I love that for you. No, if anyone ever guesses for me, it's always like Leo. Because they think I'm social. Like because when I'm with my people, I'm a very like effervescent human. When I'm not, I'm the rat in the corner. Yeah. But you're just effervescent all the time.
I read yesterday that the Libra is an air sign.
Yeah.
And that the air signs are communicators.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like there was other things listed. I don't remember. But one of them was that we were communicators because I was talking about one of my best friends who I've never had a disagreement with.
Right.
And I don't even know what we could possibly disagree with. Because when we have discussions even about things that we don't agree with, it's not a disagreement. It's just like a conversation.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So maybe we're just like social... Like, you're social in a close setting where you know people. Yeah. But it still remains that you're social.
Yeah, it does. You know? I very much read as a social human. Like, people are shocked when they hear I'm an introvert. Like, they're just shocked. But it's because when I'm talking to someone, I am very, like... I like to converse. Like, I'm also someone who, like, likes everything on the table. Like, are you kind of like that? Like, it's like, just... If we've got drama, just let's all put it on the table. Let's see it. Let's like just figure it out. Like people who bottle stuff up around me, I'm like, don't do that because now I can't like read you, and I don't like it when I can't read someone.
I remember this one guy in high school. I could tell he was agreeing with me.
Ooh.
On purpose.
Oh.
Like I was just like, I don't know if he had a crush. I don't know if he was just like not interested in, not fighting, but like I hated that I would say things and I knew that he didn't agree, but he wouldn't say anything. And that drove me, and that still drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have the decency to tell me, or the respect for me to tell me what you really think right now.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell in your face.
Probably just scared of
that
you.
He probably was.
Probably.
He was like 2 feet taller than me, but... He was probably scared of me.
I think so. I think okay, like hot take, not hot take, not hot take honestly at all. But
Am I
like
scary?
No, I think there are men who are afraid of powerful women.
I was just gonna say, Taylor, is this all adding up? Am I just a scary person?
No,
you just called me dark and stormy.
No, I think you're very
I'm
powerful.
a dark and stormy Scorpio wannabe who scares
there's
men.
Something in your eyes that is very like Scorpio.
Intense.
I think like have you seen the TikTok thing where it's like every woman is either like a mermaid, a witch, a vampire, or a fairy.
No, I've never seen this.
Okay, it's like a new trend. So it's like your vibes. Okay. I would say you're in the kind of witch category.
My witch,
like you know what I mean?
Like it makes
you're powerful.
Sense.
I get very powerful energy from you.
You know, I'm not even joking. So I reconnected with my high school friends, I want to say 2.5 years ago. And now that we hang out, so everyone is in the group chat. There's like 20 people or something. And everyone has a nickname, right?
Yeah.
My nickname is Toxic Masculinity Judge.
I love that. Yes.
That they know.
They know.
And they'll call me out too if I do something toxic.
Okay.
It's really interesting. So like it could be like a comment that another guy does and then the other guy's like, that was actually really toxic. Like they start like call each other out and talk about those things. Great. And there's been instances where they're like at the end of an evening, like, okay, Sarah, rate our actions tonight. Like, who was the most toxic? Who was the least toxic? I think they know that I'm always going to call them out on their shit.
You're keeping an eye out.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Like, there's been instances at the beginning where I was like, this was kind of fucked up, guys. Like, I don't know if we needed to make a joke about this.
Good for you.
And so now they kind of know, but it's like, it's not, I don't feel judged about it at all.
No, good. Yeah, because you're so powerful. I really think you're just like a strong woman, which I genuinely love literally so much. I love strong women. You could also be like a siren. Have you know what a siren? Like you're like a mermaid vibes, but like the ones that like lure men out to sea.
I I could see that.
To kill them. Okay.
Not all men.
So you've been on social media for like 10 years? Like since it's almost 10 years.
20, like it was like end of 2015, beginning of 2016. So we're like eight going
years.
on 9 kind of.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you've obviously been doing really well at it. This is your main income. This is your main like thing. And obviously, like if you don't follow Sarah, like you absolutely should, because I genuinely love all of your content. She just posted the most fire bikini photos ever. Her spiciest post yet. Which I got the preview of, and I was very excited.
I find it kind of funny because I can have like the most innocent pink girly pop dress photo where I'm like, and then literally the next day, like,
boom,
like I'm like, is this too hot for socials? And then I ask people, and people are like, no.
Oh, I will always say no. Like I love expose the hotness. Like let's go every time. I was like, if you're happy with it, if you're comfortable with it, like who cares if other people are like, whoa, that was a little spicy. Okay.
Honestly,
I look hot. Like,
I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
It's like, even if, I mean, I don't know if you remember, I posted a video like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something, where it was from a modeling shoot and I'm literally just wearing underwear and holding my chest. And I posted that as a video.
Right.
I legitimately don't care. Like, I don't care I just know that it makes people feel a certain way. Sometimes bad, right? Because sometimes people get outraged. Like, I change in my car all the time. And I don't care. I literally wouldn't care if someone saw me change in my car. I would mostly care if it was a creep, or if someone was filming me.
Of course.
But I don't feel like that, like, shyness or...
Do you think, because we could talk about this too, because I know on your page, because I've messaged you sometimes, because it's been tough for you, is like, you do get, like, unwanted attention from very vile men.
Yeah.
Like, on your page.
Yeah.
Because you are, again, like, a powerful woman. I think, like, some of them are wanting you to feel that shame in your body. I think there's, like, a lot of men out there that don't want any woman feeling as confident as you feel, like, you know, 90% of the time. Because, you know, confidence isn't ever, like, 100%.
Yeah.
But, like, do you think that is what they're mainly reacting to when they, like, comment on your photos, like, the things that you don't enjoy? And, like, how do you navigate that maybe a little bit? As a woman who is taking up her space.
And I'm sure you're the same, I will never understand someone who is mad about something, right?
Yeah.
And I was like...
it's embarrassing, quite honestly.
Because we're empathetic human beings,
sure,
this often happens where women do all the emotional labor behind something in explaining a man's behavior,
of course.
right? And I was like, okay, try to put yourself in their shoes.
No.
And what would make me mad to that extent? Like, is there something in life that would make me mad? Like, so I'm trying to compare.
Where you would
feelings.
like hurt someone online, like try to just.
Well,
like, take
no, I don't think
down.
I would ever hurt someone.
Right?
But
like,
I'm
it's like crazy.
You know, they're like, ugh, like you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, the only thing I could think of,
say it,
is, oh my God, why am I getting choked up about this? When you go to like a store,
okay,
and there's an order of arrival. Right?
Okay. Yes.
Like you're in line or whatever. Someone passes. You're like, what the fuck?
Okay.
There was an order here.
Yeah.
Like, do you not see? Or like when someone drives on the side of the highway, when like to pass traffic, where they're like not allowed.
Yes.
Right? I think that for them, it's like an injustice of like, I've been told my whole life that if I don't eat this and I stay this body type and I don't change, that I'll be successful and I'll find love and I'll do this, right? And then someone comes around, passing everyone,
right,
being like, nah, fuck it. I look good. I'm happy with what I look like. And they get mad.
Yes.
Like, because no argument of theirs makes sense.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm so obsessed with what you just said, by the way. Like, I'm so obsessed with that.
They're just angry that we're like
that you
passing them in like
yep.
in term, because like
and it goes against what they believe. Like where they're like, a woman that's confident, a woman that's making more money than me. Like there are those shitty guys still out there who are getting upset by that fact.
Yeah.
100%.
But we still all feel it. Like, I'll still see something and get, like, annoyed at something a girl's doing, and then I catch myself.
Sure.
And I'm like, it's just because I wish I could do that.
1,000%.
Right? I wish I could do that and not get bullied online.
Yeah.
But I don't go and comment about it, and I don't go shaming someone about it.
Totally. Yes, exactly. No, they're still trash, the people
Yeah.
doing that. Like, there's no way to empathize out of the fact that they are trash, but I do appreciate what you said. I do think that's probably very close to what they are experiencing. And I guess, yeah, like when someone passes you on the highway in a shitty way, you do feel that kind of rage. So that's a really neat analogy for maybe what's going on, but I just love that you're passing them. I'm like, yes, toot toot, bitch, like, make way.
In the most ethical way.
Literally, like, in your own space, has nothing to do with them.
Actually, I'm not passing them on, like, the line that are reserved for, like, emergency vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm in, like, the bus lane in my own car, using the lane I was allowed to use.
Exactly.
But they're just mad because they're
didn't get
not
in that
doing,
lane.
what's it called in English when you have
Like the
multiple people in a car?
Yeah. Oh my god, those side bikes. What the fuck is that called? Whatever.
I don't remember.
Like, what's that called? Carpooling.
Carpooling.
Lane.
Yeah, they're just mad they didn't This is
Right.
it. This is the
it.
perfect analogy.
Yes.
They're just mad that they're doing this alone.
Yes.
And all the fat girls are carpooling in a lane passing them.
I love it. Like building their
We've
own
cracked the
community,
code.
saying fuck you to your old ways. We're in the bus, like carpool lane. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I love that a lot.
Right?
I'm obsessed with that so much. That's like
I've trademarked it.
yeah, trademark the carpool lane. Big girls in the carpool lane. Fuck everyone else. We're supporting each other.
Yeah.
You are alone and a loser. I'll say it. Like,
the shoe
if
fits.
people comment hate online, like, I'm sorry, you are a loser. Like, I will stand by that to the ends of time. Like,
Yeah.
if you're being hateful, like, if you're saying,
sad.
like, I think, like, you know, freedom of speech and, like, whatever the fuck, like, you literally said that in an American accent. Freedom of speech, y'all. But if you're being hateful, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, because, you know, we all grasp that these people are not happy and don't have a life.
Yeah.
Because anyone focused on their own shit or anyone content wouldn't be doing this.
I think that's the other point is, like, technically you guys aren't on the same highway, right? Like, you have nothing to do with their fucking life.
No, that's
Do you know
true.
what I mean? Like, your car literally doesn't impact their car. Like,
Yeah.
at all. So, like,
Yeah.
that's what makes it crazier to me. It's like, they could scroll. It's
Oh,
like,
100%.
They could not even, like, your paths don't need to freaking cross. They're choosing to. Like, so
No, they're literally like causing a car crash.
Yeah, they're
literally, and then complaining that their car got dented along the way. Like when you
creative
answer,
analogy.
and they're like, so they crashed into my car.
So, in the carpool lane.
The carpool lane where all my bitches were in.
Yes.
And then we had the audacity to answer back, right? Clap
Yes.
back. And that scratched their car. And now they're pissed that their car got scratched
When they
in a
came-
car crash.
When they came in your
Explain
lane.
that to me.
Explain it. You freaking can't. Mic drop. That's so good.
We should write a book about this.
I was like, new podcast called The Carpool Lane.
There's female friendship only exists through the gaze of started like business ventures, right? Like it's always like if you're not fake starting a business with a friend, you're not friends.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right?
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
Yeah.
like us, like daydreaming
Like
our
everyone's
reality
exactly.
show now. Yeah.
Everyone's always friends. I feel like it's part of girlhood that you're
It
just
is a
hanging
part
out.
of 1,000%.
And always. I'm just.
I know, I'm so distracted by the person cleaning.
I'm
This
like-
is the problem with Toronto. You just end up looking into someone's, like, home or workspace.
Well, it's because I'm like, do they see us?
I know,
I
they
mean, it's
definitely
okay.
see
We're
us.
we're dressed, but I'm like genuinely curious.
Definitely.
But
yeah, we're making up our own show, solving the world problems. That is girlhood, 100%.
that is because we're always responsible for fixing things.
That's true. Speaking of fixing things, let's get into some of the advice here for the rats. Okay. How to survive going back to school after 6 years.
After 6 years, my friend, one of my friends, I just saw her last Saturday, and she's studying to be, I think, a psychologist.
Ooh, cool.
But she's a lot old. Like, we're 29.
Right.
And everyone at school is like 21, 22. And she was like, someone mistook me for the teacher. And she was like, I don't dress that old. I don't look that old. She just thought it was funny. I don't think it bothered her too much. But I think that it could be scary to go back.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's some people who like stayed in school and did the like bachelor, master in a row because it can seem scary to just take a break and come back.
Yeah, it's really brave to go back.
Yeah. But I think everyone's taken a class where there's been someone like older or from another generation.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like the older you get, the less you care.
Yeah, and I think like it's always inspiring. Like seeing someone taking control of their life, that's all it's going to look like. Right? Like, that's all I ever thought when someone, like, was older in my classes. It's like, wow, like, someone's like, wow, you can always change paths. Like, it's inspiring to younger generations. Like, oh,
and
you're not
what?
stuck.
If anything, when you're the, quote, oldest person in the room, you're going to, like, be more in line with what the teacher's thinking.
True.
I'm thinking, like, teacher's pet.
Okay.
Because you'll have a different way of seeing, like, projects, and writing than everyone else in the class.
Totally. That's the thing. Like, don't be worried about being behind. If anything, you'll be ahead. Your life experiences will totally help you. And also just, like, for yourself, just ease off however many years it's going to be. Just know, though, this chapter in your life is the one you're doing for future you. So it's an important chapter. Don't put any other pressures on it. Like, maybe you make less money because, you know, you're also in school again. But at the end of the day, you're setting yourself up for a career that lasts a very long time. Like, the saddest people, I think, are the ones in careers they hate. Right?
Oh my God, 100%.
Like, it's so hard to be in a career that you hate. So
I ask people, because we're like robots, right? And we always ask the same questions to people all the time when we meet them. It's like a Harvard study. Oh. That, like, there's, like, the top 3 questions that people ask.
Right.
And the number 1 question is, what do you do in life?
Right.
And I ask people that, but my second question, and people have told me this is a little harsh, is, do you love it? Like, they're like, oh, I'm an accountant. I'm like, do you love it? And if they're like, if it's not a yes, it's a no.
It's a no.
And I'm like, what's the dream?
Yeah.
And it actually, I think that's what people thought harsh, is I think that I thought that people knew what they wanted to do, like as an ideal job. Right. And a lot of times people, they're like, I don't know.
Right.
And so then I've just kind of confronted them with the I don't know, which is the rude part. And then I feel a little bad. But
asking if you love it is kind of a nice question. Maybe for a stranger, they might not want to divulge, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, their work traumas.
Why don't you love it?
Why don't you love your job?
What are your top 10 complaints? But
it's important to love your job.
You spend like 40,
years?
50 hours a week at a job with people that you're like forced to interact with, and you have to work to make a living. Yeah. If it's draining your soul, like, what a terrible way to spend your time. Like, I feel bad.
Yeah. Life is, it's the whole, like, the people working for the weekends versus, like, just working. Like if you're working for the weekends, like, that's sad because then you're only getting 2 days out of every week for you. Yeah. Whereas if you can find a job that you can still enjoy life, like, throughout, a little bit better, but really hard to do, quite frankly. Like, I don't know many people that are completely in love with their jobs.
But I do remember a teacher telling the class that it was like, there's 2 types of people in the world. There are people who work to live and people who live to work. Yeah. And that will always be the case. And some people genuinely make that choice to have a job that isn't, the most enjoyable, but it's what's there, it's what pays.
It's what lets them do the things they love.
Exactly. Yes. And they can check out completely at the end of the day. Yeah. Right? They're not worrying about it on the weekend. Yeah. They don't get calls on the weekend from people. So if that's the choice they're making.
I think that's I've said that to a few friends, because it's like, at the end of the day, we all have to work. And at the end of the day, there's maybe no perfect job out there. Like, not all of us are, like, like, you're either, like, someone following, like, a passion, which can be very chaotic and up and down and come with its own, I'm not saying influencing is easy, because I'm not even saying influencing. I'm just saying when you choose the arts, it's a chaotic path.
Anything freelancing.
Anything, like, and like being an actor, it's like, woo, it is rough out there.
Oh my God,
just in
yeah.
terms of like not making a lot of money. But someone could choose to make a lot of money, not like their job, but using that money to travel, to see their friends, to go on great experiences. Like, who's to say that's any worse than the person following a passion? It's just how you feel about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you either work to live or live to work. Like
Yeah.
me, I'd say I'm a live to work because I want to be an actor so bad. I feel like I would enjoy it so incredibly much. There's nothing else I'd like rather do with my time.
Yeah.
So you can look at that question as there's no bad one,
Yeah.
right? Because then if you work to live, then you're slaying on the weekends. You're, doing Europe trips, like whatever. You can
Yeah.
find the positives, I guess.
100%.
It's hard to talk about work right now, especially though, like in this economy, it's like very scary, like for sure. So to go back to school right now is very brave, and I'm very happy for this person that they're hopefully setting up.
And if I could say one last thing on that, is that I feel like age now is such a literally just a number. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
like sometimes I'll hang out with people and I'm like, how old are you again? And they're like 23. And I'm like, wow, like I would have never known.
Yeah, one of my
like
best
we're all
friends-
just the same.
One of my best friends right now is 36. I had no idea.
Yeah, my friend turned 35 and I have a friend who's 23
Yeah.
and I have friends that are the same age.
Yeah, it really is nowadays just a number.
Yeah.
This is a good one. How to deal with feeling confident.
How to deal with
kinda-
not feeling confident?
I think or like how
like or
they
how
wrote-
to feel
I
confident.
think how to feel.
it's a whole loaded question.
Yeah.
There's a few things, the few tips I think I could give. One, it can be hard in your physical space to find people that are more like you, right? Because, obviously you're not going to just go out and like go to someone with your body type and be like, you want to be friends because we're
Right.
similar,
Right.
So I think that having a social media feed that's really reflective of what it is that you're trying to achieve.
I love that.
Because I think that people consume media, I think we talked about this last week, in an aspirational way,
Yes.
right? Of like, I wish this was my life.
Yeah.
But we often do it with, the skinny white girl
Right.
who's like, I wish I had an easy life like that.
Right.
Or I wish I looked like her. I wish I was rich like her.
Yeah.
And like bring it a little normal,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
follow people. And I think that's also why people get so disappointed when someone that they looked up to loses weight. It's because they had someone.
You were in my safe space of people.
Yeah, exactly. But follow people and literally don't be afraid to unfollow
Yes.
people, mute people.
Yep.
Because sometimes, let's say a girl from your work and you don't want to unfollow her because
Yeah.
it's, just mute them.
Yep.
Like
I
that
think
button is so important.
that button is very important.
And so, yeah, surround yourself with like-minded of what you want. I think that every time I see a girl in like a bodycon dress with a similar body to mine, I'm like, fuck, she looks hot.
yeah.
I should look hot too. Like people
Yeah.
will probably think the same thing.
Yes.
And then I also think that it's like almost like a marketing theory, but you know how like increased exposure to something makes it like more retainable in your
okay, yeah,
mind. So like if you see the same ad about Pringles 7 times,
Yes.
you're more likely to buy Pringles than if you see it once. I think that we need to. It reminds me of
Yeah.
that. Did you see that girl on TikTok who was explaining people how to get into cold water?
Yes. Acclimatize. Acclimatize.
You need to acclimatize
To your own-
to your own body in
Yes.
different things.
I love
in
this
different
a lot.
outfits.
Yeah.
Because I understand it's a big step to go out of your house and wear a bikini at the beach for the
Yep.
first time.
Yep.
100%. So literally wear a bikini in your house.
Right.
No one has to see you.
Yeah.
Except you.
Yeah.
And then walk in front of the mirror a few times.
Yeah.
Because the first time you put it on, it's going to feel like, oh my God, like either I'm naked or like I don't like how this looks.
Mm-hmm.
And then also putting that as the first experience on the beach at the same time.
Right.
That can't end
Yeah.
well, you know? So I think I'm like, wear it inside. Wear it where you know there's no one else that can judge you, that no one can look at you weird, that you're going to feel bad or feel judged. And do it more often.
Yeah.
And then start wearing it in a really safe space with your friends.
Right.
And then start wearing it with, like, at work or whatever.
Yeah.
This can
takes
be multiple
time.
things, not just bikinis, right?
For sure.
But I think that the increased exposure and the seeing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like one of my best friends, she doesn't really wear makeup. And every time someone doesn't wear makeup, what do people say? They're like, oh, I look tired.
Yeah.
I look ugly. Like, I hate myself without makeup. And she's always like, no, it's just because you're not used to seeing yourself without makeup.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, people don't really notice when you're not wearing makeup because we don't look that different. We just think we look that different.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like anyone's telling men they look tired because they just show up to work looking like that every day. So there's no comparison. Maybe.
Should I tell them they look tired?
Should we start telling them they look tired? No, I really love that. And I really love, like, creating. I love that because I have talked about on here, like, creating, like, a safe space online.
Yeah.
But also, like, that idea of creating an environment to help you acclimatize to yourself is so cool. Like, using, like, I could use, like, for example, like, acne was, like, a big thing for me. So, like, following accounts that were, like, showing acne, not wearing makeup. Like, it was very helpful to be like, oh, we can leave the house. Like, look at this. It does, like, help you. It just does. And it's neat to combine that with also in your own environment, like, just getting used to yourself, but also seeing it more, kind of like the can of Pringles. So it's like, I might not buy initially that you can leave your house without makeup, but if I start seeing it enough, my brain will go, oh,
yeah,
like, okay, we could totally, like, leave the house. Like, people are doing that, blah, blah, blah.
And you know what? Also, like, on the reverse of, like, us contributing to people feeling confident, I think we need to throw compliments more in real life. Because I think that social media compliments are amazing.
Yes.
But it's easy, right? And everyone's like, you go, girl, right?
It doesn't feel as real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think to myself, if there's a group of people, because this happened to me all the time where, like, I'm next to a thin friend and I'm, like, invisible. I've spoken about this.
Right.
To men, mostly.
Right.
But big girls tend to get less compliments, and I'm sure you live the same thing, right? It's kind of like you're, like, people only see the little device.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah.
And so sometimes
I'm curious about that before
right?
they're even curious about whether I'm an interesting human.
You could be wearing a Chanel dress.
But they're going to see them.
And then, like, what's that? How could you ruin this Chanel dress?
Wait, what's on her hip, though?
Or maybe if you're wearing Chanel, maybe it'll be cool.
Maybe it is Chanel pump case.
That could be cute. A little, like, business venture for them. And I'm like, sometimes when I see a group of girls, I'm like, I want to compliment the bigger one.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't hear it.
Yeah.
As much. And you know, I don't know, this is such a random fact, but when I see people out in the world wearing their outfits, and I just know that they woke up that morning and wore that shirt everyone does it, men included.
Yeah.
They wake up, they wear their favorite sports shirt, or they wear, I see a man wearing, like, a Pittsburgh Penguins shirt, and I'm like, he woke up, look, there's a bird.
Oh, yeah.
Right as I'm talking about penguins. Weird. But this man woke up, put on a Penguins t-shirt because he wanted to wear that today.
He wanted to represent that today.
And it works with, like, I went to a volleyball tournament and this older lady was doing the food counter and she was wearing this red sparkly top.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a big deal for, like, a casual Saturday.
Yeah.
But you just know that she woke up and wanted to wear that.
Yeah.
I think that is so special.
That is really special.
Someone waking up and wearing something that you just know that they wore that because they like it.
Yeah.
No one wakes up and wears this red sparkly t-shirt.
Right. By accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because it was just hanging there. And so you know it means something to them, like complimenting them about it. They already know that they stand out. Yeah. She might not care about standing out.
Yeah.
But to compliment someone on something you notice is big.
Yes. I fully agree. I pat myself on my back. I give compliments out all the time, and I can tell how uncomfortable people are with them, but I want to I want to give compliments. Like I want people to, like I was at the grocery store the other day and I was with my sister and I think it made her like not uncomfortable, but I think like she thought maybe I like went too far. But the girl's makeup was so fucking good. And she's just at work. Like she's just cashing people out. But her makeup, I literally was like, your base is so flawless. Like a very specific compliment too, not just like, oh, nice makeup. I was just like that is a great base, blah blah. And you could tell, like she'll remember that. Like it's important.
100%.
It just is. Like even I made a vow to like, I was at a restaurant the other day and like my new vow is like anytime someone's wearing a birthday pin or a bride sash, I'm walking up to them and I'm going happy birthday or like congratulations. And I did this to this bride the other day. And everyone was like, oh my God, did you go up to her? And I was like, yeah, she didn't just wear a sash so people would ignore her. Like, do you know what I mean?
100%.
See, with the birthday pin, like make their day. They're asking the world to make their day. So do it. Like, you know?
So true.
It's really, I really, oh.
Chaos.
Sorry. I really like that.
Wait, you said something that like sparked something in my mind.
Was it about the Great Base?
Was it the Great Base? Wait, afterwards you were saying, maybe it'll come to me.
Maybe. Okay.
If it's important enough.
I feel like we already kind of covered this, so we can just give it like a quick, but like how to befriend other women. Why is it so hard? And I think we kind of talked about that at the beginning. Like maybe you're also not open to it. I think that's something we also all have to consider because there are people like Sarah creating the opportunities. Are we being
For a second,
rats?
I didn't know who you were talking about. And I was like, oh, me? I was like, me, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay. It's like, who?
All the magical Sarahs on this earth. But no, like, it's like there's just rats like me thinking, are they talking about me? Are they actually inviting me? And it's like you just have to put yourself out there to be like, let me try, right? It is hard, though. I do want to validate that. It's very hard to make friends now. I just did a sketch online and someone commented, you're lucky you even have friends, because it was a sketch about being like an introvert and a homebody, and it's like extra hard when you like don't like to leave your home. So do you have any other tips for like making friends?
Making friends. I've never tried the app. So like Bumble, BFF, never tried that. I don't know why it scares me a little bit.
It feels less natural, maybe.
It does feel a little less natural. I think the easiest way is an activity.
Yeah.
So something that is like a hobby of yours, right? Some people go to pottery making class.
Yeah.
Although that is like the most expensive.
It's one of the most expensive
activities ever.
Can confirm.
Right? Or like joining a book club.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a virtual one.
1,000%. Yeah.
There's this girl back home, Val, she started this thing called Hot Girl Social Club. Aww. And it's just for adult women to meet each other and make friends. Yeah. And they go on walks. Like hot girl walks. And they do activities now. And now it's like a whole business.
Hell yeah.
And the latest one is like bubbles and brushes.
Oh, cute.
And it's a painting activity where you're seated with someone, like a table of 4 people you don't know, and you paint and you drink.
Cool.
And you can meet new people that way. Now, not everyone you meet is going to be
a winner,
compatible.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I play volleyball, so I've met a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And it's also that social time. And sometimes I think in making friends, if you're worried about, like, the commitment, right? If you're worried about, like, oh, like, what if I meet this person and they want to be closer friends than I want to be, or something like that. When you only see each other at an activity, that's like a great like boundary in a way, because you have that social, you see them every week, you look forward to it, but it doesn't have to be more than that. And then the people that you like, you could ask to hang out more.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
as
it's
opposed
true.
to literally just like, hey, you want to hang out? And then it's so much easier than just, going to coffee and then you don't even know if the conversation is going to go well.
Totally.
Right? I guess it comes back to like dating, Like you want to do a date that's like an activity so it's not like too awkward.
Sure. I only just made 2 best friends like within this past year in Toronto, which was really exciting because I've made friends in Toronto, but none where it's like someone you actually see weekly. Like I've got, I love making friends. But it is hard. And it did take a while before we were all like okay, yes, the chemistry is good here, because that is a real fear. Like sometimes you start down the path of friendship for someone, and then all of a sudden, like day 3 of like hanging out, they say something really off color, and you're like, oh fuck, okay,
This is not gonna work.
Let's start distancing. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
But I think just knowing that, like, it's like the stupid sports thing. Like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So you just have to start taking shots. And even though
Yeah.
it's like it's not fun sometimes, that's a really smart tip to do it at an activity, so that there's a boundary, so you can scope them out for a bit, and then be like, at the end of volleyball, like after 2 months, be like, okay, this one was normal the whole 2 months. Like, it just seems like my vibe.
Yeah.
Let's go for a coffee. And you can start there.
Yeah, I think an activity is a great way. And low cost activities would be like joining a book club
1000%.
or going. I mean, if this girl that I speak about does it in Montreal, there has to be something
I bet
similar
there is something in every city.
in
I
other
really
cities.
do. Yeah.
So like even going on walks, like that's completely free.
1000%.
Right?
Even like this is like a really niche one, but there's like in Toronto, there's free bird watching walks.
That's so cute.
I know. And like my sister started going on them because we really like birds, like we like birding. And it's literally free. So like, yeah, you can find any little niche activity where you're like, okay, maybe like-minded people might be doing this, you know, and you can give it a go.
Definitely.
Struggling with my weight at the moment and can't turn to anyone for support. Any advice? That's not easy.
I think that most people have no one they can turn to.
That's
I'll be
safe,
honest.
yeah.
Because even if you had a family member or a friend, I think they'd have to be at the same exact place
Right.
and mentality for it to be valuable, because if one of them is more insecure than the other, like if you're going to help for someone,
Right.
going for help to someone who's feeling even worse than you,
Right.
it could be even triggering for them.
Right.
And I just think that I don't even know who I go to. I think I turn to my followers mostly.
Yeah.
But, not everyone has that.
Yeah, it's true. But like you said, building your online environment, like maybe finding someone who is speaking out about the things you are like uncomfortable with at this time to help normalize it together. Because I think you're right in that you might not have someone even who's gonna like understand it the way you do. Like if I have no one to go to diabetes advice for. Like I just don't. Like there's no one in my so I don't, because I know if I did, their answer is probably gonna make me angry. Because I'm like, okay, but you don't get it. Like,
no, yeah.
Right? So I think that's really healthy of you to frickin' say, is just that, like, yeah, there might not be someone in the exact same situation as you. But there are, I think, accounts online. Like, it's funny because it is an online world, but we may as well, like, take advantage of it, whether it's pros or cons, and, like, finding the people that can make you... Like, you see it. Like, I know there's influencers that genuinely make people feel so much better about themselves simply by sharing what they're going through. So maybe just finding someone who resonates in a way, and then that way they don't have to toxically turn to someone in their own circle where it might go badly. Because then you're very in control of that, right? Because you're not actually... You're building it yourself. Does that make sense? Does that sound...
Totally. Because I think also if you ask people around you... Sometimes, depending on the closeness you have with that person, you open yourself up and you give a little bit of vulnerability, and then the person doesn't get it at all. And then it's like it's hurtful, it's embarrassing, right?
Like you hadn't done it. Like,
yeah, and then it kind of sets like a weird energy, because then you're like, oh, I can never go to this person for something. No, obviously it could go well.
Of course.
We're very optimistic people.
Of course.
What can you reread the question? Because I want to...
So, struggling with my weight at the moment and can't turn to anyone for support. Any advice?
I guess it depends. Are they trying to change their weight, or are they trying to be okay with the weight?
That's a really great distinction.
It's a pretty big distinction.
Yes.
Where, like, I think... a lot of the times the issues of like I'm struggling with my weight aren't necessarily like the weight the issue, it's like are they struggling with I don't fit into my clothes anymore, and now it's going to be expensive to get a whole new wardrobe. And then also I'm assuming this is a weight gain,
okay,
just by the context, but it could be the other way as well,
for sure.
and then you've gained weight, and then not only do your clothes not fit, but you can't shop at the same stores anymore. Right. And then you can't wear things that like make you happy, or even it could be like your favorite t-shirt doesn't fit you anymore. And I think also like the way you get treated. I think it's often more about everything that comes with it. Yeah. Than like how you look, you know? Right. Because you're more like they're tied together. Obviously they're sure intertwined.
But I think like something I talked about on here once was just in terms of like illness, but it's like this is a skin sack at the end of the day. Like who you are, like as long as you can still, you know, watch your favorite shows, like those things, like you can't affect the soul even when the outer body changes. So you're right. Is it your soul that needs healing, or is it just because now your environment is becoming harder to exist in, or you're not able to do? Yeah, we need more context.
Because I could sit here and say it doesn't change your value as a person, but I understand how that doesn't help anyone feel better. Yeah. Right? To say like you're still a valuable human being. You're still the same. You have the same brain. Yeah. Literally, like same you'll make the same jokes. Yeah. Yeah. You'll be you know, the same like person, like the same type of friend. You're still, you know, and it won't change. That hasn't changed. Yeah. Right? But it feels so much bigger than that like when someone says that, it's not like it's like when someone says you're freaking out and someone's like, just breathe. Oh
great. Yeah. No,
cool.
1,000%. Cool. But that is so beautiful though, that like you are still like, you're gonna make the same jokes. When you said that, like I wanted to cry. Like you'll make the same jokes. Like that's the thing of the skin sack. But it doesn't mean it's easy, for sure. Because especially the weight of the beauty standard is ridiculously hard on especially women. Like it's fucking hard to exist in this world that's telling us constantly how to look and be different. People are able to like pay away so many issues now. The beauty standard now, because I've talked about this, is like what scares me is like it is now you need a big paycheck to fit it, which is crazy. Well, it has never been like that before, but it now involves like injections, Botox, like plastic surgery, personal trainers, dietitian. Like it's like, how can anyone fit in that box? You literally, no one can.
Yeah, have you seen that, like, and the person most commonly used is like Kylie Jenner or the Kardashians. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you're not ugly, you're just poor. That's like the meme going around. Yeah. And I do believe that there are things that are just so accessible to some people that when you're on social media, you're just like, well, I guess I could fix my problems if I had the money for this or that. And then, I mean, this is like a whole deeper issue, but this is what happens when people travel to other countries for medical procedures and it's not, you know, at the same standards, and then there's health complications.
Oh gosh, absolutely. Yeah, it's
a thing.
That is the world we live in. Like the beauty standard is a crazy weight upon like everyone's shoulders. And it's really crazy because like, you know, back in the 1900s, it was like, you know, beauty standards change over time for sure, but the fact that now it like the way I know we've gone too far is because the beauty standard is now asking us not to age, which is physically fucking impossible.
Yeah, physically impossible.
Like physically that is how impossible our beauty standard now is.
No, like that's the best example.
Like,
honestly.
Do you know what I mean? That's the thing I keep telling people is like, no, it's physically impossible to meet the standard, to the point where Kylie Jenner is on the Kardashians crying now because she's like, no one's gonna be beautiful enough. That's how scary our fucking beauty standard is. It's crazy. So I guess best advice, like I know we need more context here, but I think you've given such great advice like throughout this podcast. I actually really specifically really like what you said about building your online environment like the Pringles can. Like it's like you're not going to buy those Pringles until you see it enough. So maybe seeing the world you exist in more to understand that it's still a good world, or that you can find good in it, or find people who are finding good in it, existing in a body that is similar to yours and something you connect with.
Because we all live it with like trends, especially. Right. Like I'm such a marketing girl.
You are.
Do you remember? This is what I studied. Yeah. I legitimately love school. I love it. I had the best time at business school. There's like this curve of adopters. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Okay. So it starts with, it's basically, I don't know the name of the curve, but it's a statistical thing. Okay. And so the curve will go like this, and then there's percentiles. Okay. And at the end, the curve is really thin, and that represents like 2.5% of the population. Okay. And then in the middle is the mass population. And we saw it under the gaze of like Apple products, for example, right, where there's like the extremely early adopters that don't care what even the product is. They're camping out 2 weeks for it because it's Apple. Yep. And because that's what they're there for. Yep. And then you get to another percentage of people who are like in the beginnings and are going to change to iPhone, right? In like the first, maybe year of it coming out and update. And then there's like the mass population of when everyone gets on and joins the trend. And then again, there's like the decrease of like that 2.5% population that'll join maybe 10 years from now. Yeah. And it's true for, I think, all trends. There's always people who are going to do it at the beginning. Yeah. Like right now, Capris.
Capris, and also the Adidas shorts and boots. Have you seen that?
No. Yeah. Wait, Adidas shorts
and boots? Adidas, like, sport shorts.
With boots?
With, like, a boot heel.
But with Adidas boots or just...
No, like a fashion boot.
But, yeah, like...
So, some girls are going to jump on this.
Exactly. So, in the same way, some people are going to see their bodies and immediately love it. Mm-hmm. And some people are going to be at the end and are going to love it never or... far. Yeah. And then there's the general population that's kind of like, semi okay with their body. Yep. But you're going to fall somewhere in there. Yep. Right? And so you can't compare your like acceptance. Your trajectory or acceptance level, because everyone's just different. Yeah. Right? And so also it may take you longer, but that doesn't mean that you're never going to be comfortable. Yeah. Or anything like that.
Yeah. So try not to look at how quickly other people can get there versus you.
Yeah.
I like that. That's great advice too. What time are we at?
I don't know.
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. I'm like, this could be 3 hours. I'm having so much fun. Okay.
Until they kick us out of the hotel.
Yes. I'm no longer doing what I majored in, and I feel so lost. Oh, and I'm almost 30.
Have you heard that I'm almost 30 and I studied marketing, and I also don't... Well, I guess I technically kind of do marketing. Yeah. I actually submitted that question myself.
Right. I feel like the context I need, though, is like, I'm no longer doing what I majored in. Do you want to be doing... Is that implying, like, I want to be doing what I majored in?
So read it again.
Right. Detective work. I'm no longer doing what I majored in, and I feel so lost. Oh, and I'm almost 30. Oh. Sounds like she wants to be doing, or they, sorry, don't know who this is.
We don't know who this person is.
We don't know who this is. I feel like some people base what their identity is on what they majored in, because you spent so much money on it. So it's like, oh, I'm an English major. Like, I should always be doing English, because that's what I paid for. So I think that can be like a toxic mindset, because it's like a very money mindset. It's like, I paid for this, therefore I should stick with it. And I think that let that go. You still gained experience from being an English major. And even if you go to then be a kindergarten teacher, like that links, or like you go to be an electrician, well, like it doesn't matter, like it just doesn't matter. You can just be an electrician that enjoys books on the side, reads Shakespeare on the side, whatever. I don't know. Like, what would you say?
I studied marketing. Yes. And I didn't get a job when I graduated. Like, no one would hire me, which is weird. Yeah. I'm like, so cool. Yeah. And I ended up having to work for my dad. And it's one of the biggest reasons that I'm here today as an influencer. Wow. Is because I had a super flexible job. Right. Like, if I had gotten an 8 to 5 job where I couldn't just, go to events in the middle of the afternoon, or even like I had like modeling opportunities abroad, right, with like 5 days notice. Like, imagine telling your boss, like, hey, I'm going to go do a job for someone else next week. I can't come into work. Yeah. And I, weirdly enough, feel like I only hear about like I tell people it's a degree, but you could do anything.
Yes.
Like, now I feel like degrees are almost, unless you're like a doctor, an engineer, like something
100%.
like legitimately, like I want you to know what you're doing. A lot of times they're kind of stepping stones, and you can get into a company and then you work in something else.
Yeah.
Especially in marketing, I feel like it's one of those degrees where people often end up in marketing without never studying it.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
So, I don't think it's I don't even see the bad almost, because she could be sad about it, or they could be sad about it, because again, we don't know who it is, but they could be sad about it, and that's a valid thing, because we don't know what the feeling is.
Yes.
Necessarily, like, they're disappointed.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, like, well, they feel lost. And I was going to say,
feel lost.
Anytime I feel lost, it means it's time to build up something you're secure in. It means you're putting so much weight on something we don't have right now. Mm-hmm. So the best way to dig out is to be like, what do I have? What am I good at? What values do I bring? So, like, let's say you're in a deadbeat job, but your sister just had a baby and you're the best freaking aunt on the planet. Mm-hmm. Just lean into that for a bit. Just be like, okay, this job's letting me be an amazing aunt. Like I always draw like little silver linings. I joked to my sister last week on the podcast. It's called Rumpelstiltskin. You know, like Rumpelstiltskin, you can make gold out of anything.
Yeah.
We got to start making some gold, or silver linings. Yeah, like you got to just, until you figure that out, because that'll also help take the pressure off of that. Mm-hmm. And building up who you are outside of work is very important anyways. So, I agree. So I think like just take this on as like a great time in life to be like, I am obviously more than my job. Every human on this earth is so much more than their job. They offer so much more. So lean on everything else that you are and are able to do right now as you navigate this. Because like we said earlier, like your job is a big part of our lives and identities for sure. Yeah. But it's often a tumultuous path, I think, for most people in the job world. So it can't mean everything to you. Mm-hmm. Your identity can't be based on the fact that you're a good doctor. Like, it's great to be a good doctor, but when you leave the office, you need to have good feelings about yourself still. Yeah. Right? Like, it can't just be like, I go to work and I'm good at this. Mm-hmm. So even if you're feeling lost, I think it's just like a sign that you've maybe put too much weight on your career.
I'm actually so invested in this question.
I know.
Like, I need a follow-up from the person who submitted this, because I, like, want to know how they ended up not in their field. Yeah. What happened there? Was it like a leap of faith that didn't work out and now they're disappointed? Oh. Or was it something that came up? Is it also part of the big plan? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Like, I've had a really slow year so far. And like you, I'm trying to have a silver lining to it. Right. So I was like, well, you know what? I've been helping my grandmother a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
And I've been able to spend a lot of time with her. And just like I said before, like, I didn't get a job, no one would hire me. Right. And then I ended up getting something that let me do something else. Yes. That I don't know if I would be here. I don't know if I would be an influencer if I had gotten a real job. Totally. And so I'm like, what does it mean for this person?
That's the thing.
Is it allowing them to do something else?
Delulu manifestation girly pop on you, but kind of. Kind of. Maybe we
go there do they have a vision board? Right.
We need to know.
Yeah, there's lacking information here. I know that's if this person wants to fill us in. Yeah. Yeah. We would love to have a follow-up. Okay. Special guest on the
exactly. How to balance long distance friendships.
Oh, I feel like I'm the best at this.
Oh, perfect. Go.
Most of my friendships are long distance. Same. I think that, I don't know if you saw, I posted a reel like last week or beginning of the week. Actually, no, I haven't posted it yet.
Oh, okay.
I get so confused in my own drafts. I don't think I've posted it yet. I think I posted it to TikTok maybe. Okay. Basically, I was saying I used to feel sad that my friends or the people that I felt the biggest connections with didn't live where I live. Right. But one day I realized, I'm like, my people are dreamers. And my people, it doesn't make sense for us all to be from the same place. Right. Because we're all so different. Right. And I could never hold them back. Right. Right. And I think there's something magical about having friends a little bit all over. Mm-hmm. And that it's not like necessarily the proximity, but every time you do hang out, it's like so cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like so special.
Yeah.
And that there's people just like you spread all around.
Yeah. That's really nice.
I feel like there's something a little bit magical to that. Now, I'm a person who doesn't text people.
Same.
And I think that's like, I often forget to ask. I only ask people to hang out when I'm out of town. And then I'm like, well, I'm alone. Right? But at home, I kind of like wait for people to invite me to things.
Right.
Or with my friend group, I mean, there's so many of us that there's often something going on.
Right.
But I don't actively text people or kind of like, hey, how's it going lately? Like, I'm a in-person hangout girly.
Right.
So I'll be like, hey, I want to meet Friday.
Right.
But we'll never talk outside of our meeting Friday.
Yes.
And so I think my long distance friendships kind of fit right into that because I can't really see them on the daily and we only ever hang out in person.
Right.
And that's exactly how all my friendships are anyways.
True.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So just reframing like how you look at it as like a positive.
Yeah.
I think also like something I started doing for long distance friendships is just like calling people. And I think like the mistake we make today is like we schedule calls. Like, oh, are you free Friday morning? Blah, blah. Just call. If they don't pick up, like, it's literally okay. Because I'm the same way. I don't text. I won't have a heart-to-heart over text. I just, it won't happen for me. But, you know, like, I will now. Like, I'll just be, like, walking my dog. And I'll be like, who should I call today? Like, I'll call this person today. Or with my friend Hannah, who's in Scotland, we do have to coordinate it. Because it's, like, she's literally, she's 6 hours ahead or something. 5 hours. And so, you know, but... Also, I think what's so important is being flexible people. Like, both people in the friendship need to know, like Hannah and I can say, like, let's do a call Monday at 9 a.m. But, like, Friday comes around, Hannah might get, like, an in-person doctor's appointment or some shit like that. Like, you gotta be cool with that. Like, both parties need to be cool. So have conversations about that. Like, expectations of, like, the friendship.
Yeah.
Like, get stuff on the table. So that you can maintain that friendship. Because there's the other thing is, like, I'm not really someone who's able to have high needs friendships. Are you? They exist and they're beautiful.
Actually, so I am caught in my pants. I used to be the friend who needed a one-on-one person. I needed my best friend and we do everything together and we spend...
Right.
And... I'm invited to everything. Very unhealthy attachment.
Right.
So I used to be like that. Now, in some way of protection also, of like not falling back into that trap, I like having long distance friendships because I physically or literally can't have the same expectations.
You're right.
Right? I don't get upset that we don't hang out every week because we can't.
Yeah.
And... There's also something like special about when you have a long distance friendship and there's like a choice to hang out.
Yes.
Right? You go like you go somewhere and the person always makes time for you when you're in their town or vice versa. And it's
extra special.
Yeah,
because it's like it's more rare. I think another really huge positive is like it's awesome having a friend like Hannah. She doesn't know any of my Toronto people. So if I have a problem with a Toronto person, I can tell. It's like having a therapist, right? Because it's like these worlds will never collide.
True.
Like it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's the same for her. Like she can tell me because I'm like it's like the safest friend you could have. And it's like I don't want people to think I'm actually talking shit. I'm not. It's just like you know even like talking about career with her. It's just nice because she's an actor, but the acting industries are really different. So it's just like such a safe friendship. Almost like therapy because you know like how you can just tell more to a therapist because they're not in that world, they're in their own, so it just feels so safe to like share with them because your relationship with them exists in that other world, so it's nice and separate from yours. I don't know,
but do you find that with your sister?
What do you mean?
Like I
tell my
remember
sister everything.
I tell my sister everything.
Like she's my best friend.
I tell her too much.
Yeah
Sometimes she's like, I don't know if I needed to know that.
Fair.
And I'm like, what do you mean? There are no secrets. I remember seeing something on TikTok about how women who don't have sisters seek more like close friendships.
Sisterhood and friendship.
Yeah, and people who have sisters
don't need it.
I mean, that's assuming that you have a relationship with your
Have
sister,
a good,
obviously.
Yeah.
But if you have a relationship with a sister, those people tend to like seek other friendships less.
Yeah.
Because you always already have someone that runs in different circles, like you're saying, that is kind of also impartial.
Would do everything for you. It's like the safest friendship on earth.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I don't call a friend and that was a hard thing that I had to learn and go through, is that like I wanted my friends to be there to pick up the phone when I was having a really bad episode.
Oh, okay.
When I'm like, I'm like feeling really low.
Right.
I need someone to cheer me up. My friends weren't available.
Yeah.
And that's not a reflection on them.
No.
It's just people have lives.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that it's so much different with a sister.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she lives down the hall.
Nice.
Me, so
yeah.
She's traceable.
Yeah.
But it's just different. I don't know. It just feels very different.
I agree. I think that probably is what, like, because my sister and I have just been, I'm best friends with my family in general as well. So, like, that has always held me back from, like, going to make friends. But we moved a lot as kids, which I also think means, like, friendship for me was always something that was, like...
temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never learned to build, like, those kind of bonds. Whereas with your siblings, it was different. It was like, this is all we had when we moved to a new spot. So it was like,
not
we
to
were
be
close.
sappy, but like they were like, you only know, like your parents know you when they're like 30 or whatever, right? And they're gonna die, when we're 60, and then we'll spend 30 years without them. But your sibling is like at the same level,
right?
And
You'll
you
have
spend
a
your
lifetime.
whole life with them, because even your like partner, right? Like you had a whole life before your partner.
True.
But your sibling's always there.
They were there the whole time.
You know?
It is amazing. Sibling relationships are so incredible.
But I do think that if you are close with your family, I think you also tend to seek less friendships.
1,000%.
Because of time, right?
Well,
like I see my family a lot.
Yeah. And
I hang out with my cousin like a best friend.
Yeah.
Like my cousin is like my best friend.
I know.
So it makes less of a need
to get yourself out there.
You're already like busy and stuff.
It's completely true. Yeah. It's always funny, like how everything can be like
make new friends, just hang out with your cousin.
Yeah, there you go. Built-in friendships.
They have to like you.
Okay, this one was really sweet. Okay. Well, not sweet, but like a good, very pure, honest, someone being very honest. Do you struggle with feeling like you're not as pretty as your friends because of your acne/body? Questions about that. But feeling not as pretty. So like comparison with friends.
Oh man. I literally went to dinner last night. No, the night before, because last night I was here in Toronto. With this friend of mine who's like 23, I think, 24. And she's stunning. Like supermodel, right? And I chose not to wear makeup to dinner because I'm lazy and I didn't want to take off my makeup that night.
Right.
Because I knew I wasn't going to wear makeup on the flight the next day. Right. I was just like, I don't want to wash my face later. Even though you should always wash your face. But I didn't want to take off my makeup. So I didn't wear makeup. And I honestly, for most of the time she was talking, was like, oh man, like she looks so much prettier than me right now. Like, and it's not only that, but she literally like, she's the kind of girl who's so bubbly and so pretty that people just like walk up to her.
Right.
Right. And I felt a little inadequate. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was distracted by it. But so it does happen.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I mean. It's like a very honest question. Because it's also like the people we love. Like it tends to be, so you are...
Because you see also the people you love as more beautiful.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Like you are enjoying their beauty so much more.
Yeah.
And like for me with the acne, like that was really hard. Like when my skin, like especially as I got older, because I was like, okay, nobody, like every time I'd go to a party after like the age of 23, 24, it was like I was like the only one with acne. That started getting very hard, and it was like my acne was like pretty bad at the time. And I never felt lesser than my friends, but I would always be like you said, like just staring at their skin and just like imagining what life must be like to have clear skin. But it was never like yucky feelings, which is the follow-up I would like to ask. Like, is it, because I think my sister explained this to me. There's jealousy and then there's envy, and they're actually different. Jealousy is like an ugly emotion where it's like, you have something I don't have, therefore I don't like you for it. But envy is actually just like, wow, I want that for myself. So it actually isn't that ugly of an emotion, because humans always strive for better, and it's like quite, it's quite natural.
Yeah. Oh yes, I get that.
Right? Like, it's just more natural. It's like, I could be super envious of, like, you know, your beautiful freckles, or like the way your hair falls and blah blah blah, like, and that would be more like envious. Whereas jealousy would be like, I wish I could cut off her fucking ponytail, like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's jealousy. Jealousy is ugly. Envy is like, oh my god, like,
no,
her
it's
hair
true.
is so gorgeous.
I hear it.
I wish my hair was that gorgeous. So what do you do? I know it. The thing with, like, for me, like, if I talk about the acne, because they did say acne/body.
Yeah.
And body, honestly, too, because, yeah, when I first was diagnosed and I watched people eat food without needing medicine, I would go to my room and cry. I would literally have to leave the table, because it was, like, so emotional at first to have a body that wasn't doing the things the other bodies were doing. But I always kept it as a me problem, and I think that's the healthy way to go about this. Like, when it starts to turn into that's what I mean, envy versus jealousy. Like, when it starts to turn into jealousy and you start thinking it's a them issue, like, that's not right. It's not their fault they're gorgeous, or it's not their fault like, you know what I mean? Like, this is your story, so keep it more on the envy side, and maybe just find some forgiveness for yourself, because it's quite natural. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is that fair? Like, just making sure it doesn't go to the toxic place because they are your friends?
Because this is only about friends, right? People around you.
Exactly. Like, of struggling with feeling like you are not as pretty as your friends. And also, I guess it's like, we could go so deep. It's like, I need the person on the couch, because I need all these follow-up questions. But it's like, do you need to be as pretty as your friends? What are they getting? But I think that's the question, right? It's like, what are they getting that you're actually envious of?
Yeah, well, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Is it the attention?
Is it the easy
is it
the boyfriend, the girlfriend?
Life, or
yes, is it the way they can shop and everything looks good on them?
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, it depends, because if I'm thinking just in terms of, like, beauty, objective, or not objective, but my definition of beauty, right? I don't really feel envious of my friends' bodies. I think we all have different bodies.
Yeah.
And we're all just, like, pretty in our own way. And people compliment each other.
Yeah.
But if I think about it in terms of, like, what, like, relationship material, then I feel inadequate.
Right.
Then I start to feel
that's like, the thing. It's like this person's got to go the step further.
Yeah, because if I'm like, well, I think I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I think I
because
you
are. And everyone is, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But then if I'm thinking about it in terms of, like, I'm a potential dating option, then I find myself less valuable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, that's where I think that's the best advice of where you need to go. You need to, like, almost journal on this.
I could, but I don't see it as envy or jealousy.
Right.
I'm mostly mad at men.
Right.
I'm not like, wow, I wish I was skinny like her. I'm like, I wish y'all were not fat phobic, right?
Hell yeah.
It's like it's not a different thing. I think I've understood that unless I starve myself, my body's not going to change.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so many different analogies. Like, one I saw is like, you would never ask a husky to lose enough weight to look like a chihuahua, because it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yesterday, when I was at the plus size event, it happens a lot that plus size women are also very tall. Like, we're just literally bigger in every sense. Like, we have bigger bones, we have a bigger frame, right? And I could never look like Emily Ratajkowski.
Right.
I don't know if I'm saying that right with her name, but I will never look like her. Like, it's like physically impossible. So I think there's like an acceptance of like, this is how I look, this is probably how I'm always gonna look, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know? But so I don't see myself changing, and I never want to change because of someone I see or a friend or whatever.
No,
right?
Absolutely. But that's the self-work. That's like amazing, like self-work that you do have to to do. And I think that comes with time. Like, I'd love to know how old this person is. That's why I kind of went all at first, because it feels like 16, 17, where you're starting to notice maybe the changes. Yeah, like the changes as like we grow older. But yeah, it's like the same thing. Like when I had the acne, it was just like, I just was like, this is what I have right now, but it doesn't stop me from having the same experiences with my friends. I think it's just, like, for me, that envy came from, like, it's like we said, like, you got to go the one step further. It's not like, oh, I'm not as pretty as them. It's, oh, I feel their mornings start out easier than mine because they're not looking in the mirror and immediately hating themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, that's actually what I was envious of. Like, wow, how nice must it be to wake up and not touch your skin and want to scream.
Yeah.
Like, that feeling. Yeah. Right? It's like, so you just have to go that step further. And then it's just like, oh, so this is, again, a me problem. But it's also, like you were saying, a fucking society problem. Man, I wish society wasn't so fucking hard on what we fucking look like. You fucks. Like,
I guess, you know what? It kind of sounds like the stages of grief, right? Like you start off with denial. And you're like, no, but like, I want to be like them. But at some point, you kind of realize that you won't. Right?
You won't be, and then
it's an acceptance phase.
Then you're in the acceptance phase.
I don't even know the 5 stages.
I don't either, but like I bet these ones are not adjacent necessarily, but yeah, like there's probably like similarities because it is a process. Learning or dealing with what you look like, what you're going to look like, or like a persistent, like acne is tough because it's like technically like you could go on Accutane, you could potentially like change it, I guess, but at the end of the day. Asking yourself what the real thing you're wanting will tell you more about yourself, and that's a good place to start.
Fair. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay,
like,
well...
break it down.
Break it down.
Break it down. Make it seem less big.
Exactly. It's like... Or less on your friends is a good place to start, too. Because, like, don't... Otherwise, I don't want this person having, like, a toxic relationship with their friends. Because you don't want that slippery slope into jealousy.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't want Jessica to have the front seat because fuck her, she's pretty, so she gets everything anyway, so she can sit in the back. That's when you're starting to go the wrong fucking way.
Or maybe they're just not meant to be friends. Also, I don't know. Like, if you feel that way with your friends, maybe they're also making you feel lesser.
Yeah. That's not good.
Right?
As we gave advice as well as they need follow-ups. We gave as good of blind advice as I think we could. I really appreciated a lot of the stuff you said. Like, I've got like so many takeaways that I'm like fucking obsessed with. The carpool, and then also building the digital space like the Pringles can. I'm actually obsessed with those two things, like beyond. I just think those are really great.
Fueling my Delulu, and I'm like, wow, I'm so good at this.
You are.
I'm so good at talking on podcasts.
You are.
And I'm like, should I write a book about Pringles? I don't know.
Watch out for Sarah, because she's going to do amazing things.
Pre-order
Let
next
them
week.
know where they can follow you.
They can follow me on Instagram at Sarah Ostagi.
Want to spell it?
Yeah, at SARAH.
See, it's important. They could have been doing the SARA.
Can you imagine?
Yep.
So at SARAHOSTIGUY.
Perfect.
And it's kind of similar on TikTok. There's just an underscore between my first and last name.
Okay, perfect.
And I think that's all.
Okay,
I think that's where you find me.
Well, thank you for being on the podcast. That was an amazing Ratitude check. Thank you for helping out.
I'm so proud of my first Ratitude check.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Ratitude check, yeah.
Ratitude check.
It's like attitude check, but you're a rat.
Ratitude.
You gotta check your ratitude.
I could be a... What animal would I be if I'm not a rat?
You're like, I feel like you're like a dolphin, like just so social and friendly and like
I almost
lovely.
made a dolphin sound. That would have been tragic.
Terrifying.
Dolphinitude.
I feel like if you had a podcast, you'd have to go with like your witchy vibes. Be like powerful witches, bitches. Podcast.
I feel like
carpool
with
your
with
witches.
the witches.
Yes.
And it also kind of makes sense because I'm like a huge Taylor Swift fan. So just going along with the witch theories, right?
I kind of love that. Do you think I'd be vampire? This is important.
Vampire.
What am I? Vampire, witch, fairy, or mermaid vibes?
Okay, let's like break them down.
Okay. Yeah.
If you like hiding, like if you're like in your little thing, I'm like, I feel like the initial thought is like vampire because they're alone.
Oh, interesting.
But then I'm thinking mermaids go out into the world, but they can go back into their world underground.
Oh!
And maybe that's you.
Okay.
Like you're sparkling in the sun when you come out, but then you can also go back to your little
like
cave.
in the depths of the ocean.
With Sebastian.
I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Everyone needs to weigh in. Do you think
so I'm a witch, I guess.
Witch.
I'm like a pink, sparkly, deceptive witch.
That's what I mean, like a good witch.
Oh my God.
When I say witch, by the way, I mean good.
Someone's going to run with this soundbite in the wrong way.
No.
Pink, sparkly, deceptive bitch. Witch.
Witch. But like Phoebe Buffay would be a witch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a good one. Like I think it's like if we were talking about Sex and the City, like it would be like Samantha's the witch. No, she'd be more vampire. But like you know what I mean? Like witches is good. I think all of them are good. All of them are hot.
That witches just have a bad connotation because of patriarchy.
They used to kill them. Men used to kill
the
them
patriarchy. You know?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's why you have to be a witch though, because you're the toxic masculinity checker.
Yeah, I am.
So like it makes sense because the men hated witches.
They were like, witches.
And witches were powerful fucking women.
It was basically just that.
Correct.
Basically, they were just afraid.
They were so afraid of these women. Yeah. So I'm correct on that. Me, I was in my mind. I'm like, yeah. I don't know about mermaid. I feel like mermaids are too hot. I was like, maybe I'm fairy because I'm just like I'm small and I'm not taking up space. Don't worry about me.
Oh,
but I'm nice.
That is
like,
cute.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like I'm here.
Maybe we're just all a mix of all of them.
I think so.
Wait, what was the fourth one? A bat?
No, a vampire.
No, there's vampire, fairy.
Witch.
Oh, witch.
Mermaid.
Okay, I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot your own.
I forgot my own.
Like I feel like all the Kardashians are vampires because they're just like hot and mysterious.
Oh, they are
right?
hot.
Like I feel like vampire is like a.
I think they're all hot.
Well, they definitely are.
No, I mean like
hot.
if you're a mermaid, you're a fairy.
Obviously they're hot.
We're all hot.
But I think like.
So are you a hot mermaid? Or are you a hot vampire?
They're all hot, but like vampire, I think is like a like those women that have like a sexual power. Like Samantha Jones.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's like.
I don't know. Like
I
those like popular girls in high school that knew guys had crushes on them and used it for their power.
Right.
I was like, I don't know how they did that.
Vampires.
If someone has a crush on me, I'm terrified.
Right. Which they're gonna burn you.
I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they're out to get me. And the vampires are like,
bring it on, bitch.
Do my homework.
Yeah.
I'm like scared.
I'm obsessed.
I want to be them.
Okay, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And rats, that's the end of the episode.